Welcome to another episode of On the Journey, where I showcase the work of a luthier who has made 30 guitars or fewer. And guess what? This is actually the lowest number that we've seen so far in this series. This is guitar number 4 by Connor Gair, who builds under the name Aurelio Guitars. Just a quick thought before we kick off. What can and should we expect from a guitar at such an early stage in a luthier's career? Well, obviously we have to be realistic about certain things in terms of voice, in terms of fit and finish, maybe ergonomics too. That said, I am always looking to see signs that genuine love and care went into an instrument. Personality, inventiveness, but above all, passion. Let's listen to the voice and then we can take a detailed look. This is an Aurelio Guitars LM model, and it's designed as an instrument for the fingerstyle player. And as you'll see here, there are some very interesting touches, including something that I've never seen before, and I don't get to say that very often. Now, as Connor is still at the beginning of his journey as a luthier, his instruments are not yet available for sale. He wants to get things absolutely right before he starts offering them to players, and I can't argue with that approach at all. That said, you may have seen this instrument in the hands of Tommy Emmanuel backstage at one of his recent gigs here in the UK. That took some guts.
It's a really good guitar. It sounds good and tunes up. Beautiful. Wow. Yeah, it's really good. Good work.
The Aurelio Guitars LM is a touch wider than a standard OM with a 390mm lower bout, that's 15.34 inches. It currently only exists as a non-cutaway design, but Connor is developing a cutaway model at the moment for guitar number 5. The instrument is built around a 635mm scale length, which is 25 inches on the nose. It features a 12-fret neck-to-body join and a pinless bridge, more of which later. The back and sides of this instrument are made from figured Ovancol. It's good looking stuff. Connor has used a structured rim design with an inner laminate of Spanish cedar between 2 layers of Ovancol. It's the first time that he's tried this approach. A structured rim allows the luthier to make the back and soundboard light and responsive while still producing a physically robust guitar. The soundboard is made from German spruce and it's a nice looking set. Interestingly, the soundboard itself is arched downwards at the shoulder under a cantilevered neck. There is no upper transverse brace. Instead, there's a floating neck extension made from aluminium rods anchored at the neck block and waist of the guitar. That same neck is made from black limber with a stack heel and a fretboard of Ovancol with a walnut inlay on each fret. This gives it a look not unlike a woodier version of Gibson's Century of Progress guitars. A lot of work has been put into this, and I have to admire the commitment to this maximalist aesthetic approach. The rosette is made from blue-dyed sycamore with these little rectangles made from epoxy with a blue powder suspended in it. The design of the rosette itself is inspired by the movement of a strobe tuner. There's a walnut soundhole extension which looks rather like a little tournavoz or tournavoz if you're feeling French. It's an interesting approach, not one that you often see outside the classical guitar world. The pinless bridge is made from Ovancol and it is a unique design. Take a look at this and then ponder, how do you get the strings on? Any guesses? Well, by using this brass tube. Connor has designed this system to ensure direct contact between the string end and the bridge plate. I like his thinking, and it works surprisingly well, and let's face it, there's always room for a little whimsy in any creative process. Connor has made pinned bridges too. This is just an exploration of the pinless concept. Whether this continues remains to be seen. The name Aurelio comes from the Latin for gold, and every guitar has a little detail in gold leaf somewhere on the instrument. In this case, it's on one of the back cleats. Connor likes this placement, and you know what? I do too. I suspect this could be a running theme. It's nice to see that little gilded flash inside the soundhole. So when it comes to appraising the work of a guitar maker this early in their career, there are a number of things that we can expect to see. Yes, there may be tool marks, there may be slightly rough fret ends, there may be some covered up mistakes, there may be some wolf notes, imbalances from string to string, or intonation issues. In fact, it's the possibility that all these things could exist. That's why Connor has brought this guitar to me to check out and help identify areas to concentrate on as he progresses, and you really can't fault that kind of logic. So I'm really looking forward to seeing further Aurelio guitars. This has been a fascinating experience and one that I've really enjoyed, and I'm keen to see where Connor goes with his instruments in the future. Now, if you're a luthier who's made 30 guitars or fewer and you'd like your work showcased on this channel, don't be shy. Get in touch, you know where to find me. Everybody else, thank you very much indeed for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay tuned.